One of the questions which is asked of me the most is, why is it that the Child Protection Party focuses just on children? Surely that's a narrow field and perhaps doesn't encapsulate a political spectrum that is more encompassing of the population. Well, I would argue that it does, that child protection is about all environments in which children find themselves. So if we look at domestic violence, for example, we have a cohort of young people who are experiencing violent and abusive relationships and who are themselves abused physically, emotionally and sexually by those sorts of environments. So domestic violence matters, and we know that there's a large percentage, at least 25 to 30% of parents who have experienced domestic violence. Relationships are important. To be able to define how you want to see yourselves in terms of other relationships will often depend upon the relationships that you experienced when you were young. So domestic violence is important, and we as a Child Protection Party are working hard in order to eliminate violence and abusive relationships so that children can feel safer within their homes. That is important to us, and I would imagine that it's important to you as well. Another area which affects all of us is actually climate change, and how we would like our environment to be for our children as they get older, our grandchildren as well. We want an environment in which they can feel safe, that they're not concerned about escalating energy prices, they're not concerned about storms, weather conditions that are intolerable. We are concerned about all of these things. We're also concerned about education, how our children are educated, where the funding comes from for our local public schools. Most people can't afford to send their kids to a private school where they're supposed to get a better education. And we want a lot of the funding to be provided, or the majority of the funding really, to be provided for public schools. We don't want the handouts that are offered to private schools whereby they can simply charge whatever fee they want for the service and then receive an additional handout from the government also for those services offered to children. All schools should be the same. Where I live in the north of Adelaide, we would like to see more funding provided for the schools that are out this way. Schools in general in this area are poorly catered for in terms of the public schooling. We'd like to see more money spent so that those schools are upgraded, teachers are paid more, the type of services offered to children have been extended, the range of courses have been also improved. We would like to see the standard of education raised so that our children have an equal opportunity to succeed as do those kids who are taught in the private sector. Homelessness. Many families find themselves homeless because they are unable to afford to buy a home in the first instance, and less likely to be able to rent a home as well. The stock of homes available for people is so limited that people sometimes have to wait decades in order to be able to get the home they need. A lot of families find themselves couch surfing. Some families find themselves having to live in their cars. This is not good enough, and it affects children. It affects their sense of safety, stability and well-being. And we want to make sure that children, no matter where they are, no matter what families they come from, they have a roof over their head and they're well fed. So these are just some of the issues that we at the Child Protection Party are concerned about. Now, they're not just about kids being taken from their families. We are not just about child protection. We are about protecting all children from circumstances which are likely to harm them. We're concerned about drug use and the impact that that has on young people. We're concerned about the mental well-being of parents, because that in fact impacts young people. We're concerned about kids' well-being. We're concerned about the suicide rate among kids as well as drug use. We are concerned about the amount of TV time or the impact that social media has on children. These are all issues which matter to us at the Child Protection Party. So therefore they're issues that should matter to you as well. We are broad. There is hardly any aspect of legislative procedure which we would not be concerned about. Everything that goes through Parliament we would be concerned about, because most legislation relates to kids at some point, not now necessarily always, but certainly in the future. All our kids should have the same opportunities to succeed, but there are lots and lots of barriers to children achieving that. We want to get rid of those barriers so that all children have the same possibility, the same chances, the same life chances as any other child. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care, look after yourselves, and be safe.